Why do some sentences sound clear and powerful, while others just sound confusing? The secret is in the sentence structure. Hello there, I am FT and welcome back to my channel where I make English grammar simple and easy to understand. And if this is your first time here, you are very welcome. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my lessons. In today's video, we are learning sentence structure, what it means, the basic parts and components, and the different types of sentence structure in English grammar you need to know to help you write and speak better English. So if you're ready, let's get started. What do we mean by sentence structure? Sentence structure is a grammatical component that tells you exactly where and how each component of a sentence should be placed in order to blend to make sense. In other words, the sentence structure is what defines the way a sentence will look or sound. Before we look into how sentence structure works, we will have to first learn about the basic structure of a sentence and the components that makes up a sentence. A sentence in English consists of at least a subject and a predicate. In other words, a sentence should have a subject and a verb. The subject can be a noun or a pronoun that does the action. For example, the sun is shining. The sun here is the subject. The sky is clear. The sky in this sentence is the subject. Then, the predicate. The verb is the action performed by the particular subject in the sentence. For example, Mary has a pet. Has a pet here is the predicate of this sentence. That is the action performed by Mary. Another example, David can draw. Can draw here is what? The predicate, because it's the action performed by David. Like a sentence has two parts, it has 5 main components that makes up the structure of a sentence, and they are the subject, verb, object, complement, and adjunct. Now, let's look at each of the components in details. The subject. A noun that performs the action in a sentence is considered as the subject. It answers the question who, or in other words, a subject can be identified by asking the question who. A subject takes the first place in most cases, especially in declarative or assertive sentence. For example, the child kept crying. The child here is the subject. Hard work pays. Hard work here is the subject. Our school team won the match. Our school team here is the subject. Now, verb. In every sentence, the most important word can be said to be the verb. A verb shows action or activity or work done by the subject. Remember that all verbs, including main verbs, helping verbs, sative verbs, and action verbs, come under this category. Most often, verbs appears immediately after the subject. For example, Juliet is writing a letter. Writing here is the verb. It was too dark. Was here is the verb. I feel tired. Feel here is the verb. The next component we are going to talk about is the object. An object is a noun or pronoun that receives the action done by the subject. Objects are of two types, and they are direct and indirect objects. The direct object, it is a noun or pronoun that receives the action directly. Is the direct object in the sentence. It answers the question what. Direct object mostly appears immediately after the verb and are the primary objects in the sentence. For example, Harry bought a new car. Car here is the direct object. My mother made a cake. Cake in this sentence is the direct object. Then the indirect object. An indirect object is a noun or pronoun that is a secondary object. It can be identified by asking the question whom. When there is an indirect object in a sentence, it is mostly placed after the verb and before the direct object. For example, my mother bought me a new dress. Me here is the indirect object. I gave him a chocolate. Him in this sentence is the indirect object. David gave Mary a cake. Mary in this sentence is the indirect object. Now we are moving to the next component, which is the complement. The words required to complete the meaning of a sentence can be referred to as the complement of the sentence. A complement can be an adjective, a name, a position, or a profession. For example, it grew dark. Dark here is a complement. He is a dentist. Dentist here is the complement of this sentence. That's her dog, Bruno. Bruno here is the complement of this sentence. Complements are further divided into two types based on which component it speaks about. The two types of complements are the subject complements and the object complements. Let me explain. The subject complements, the complement which expresses the quality or identity or condition of the subject is called the subject complement. For example, she is a doctor. Doctor here is the complement, is the subject complement of this sentence. The students are very excited. Excited here is the complement. My brother is a teacher. Teacher here is the complement. On the other hand, object complements is the complement which expresses the quality or identity or condition of an object. For example, they made her angry. Angry here is the object complement. Nobody found the movie interesting. Interesting in this sentence is the object complement. Then the last component, which is the adjunct, is a word or a phrase that gives more information about an action, an event, a quality, and so on. In short, it can be said that these words can include adverbs and adverb clauses. Adjunct can be identified by asking questions when, where, why, how often, and to what extent. When using adjuncts, keep in mind that adjuncts can be used in the beginning, middle, or end of the sentence, and that there can be more than one adjunct in a sentence. Let's see some examples to understand how adjuncts can be used. Yesterday, we met at the park. In this sentence, you will see that adjuncts appeared twice, at the beginning and at the end of the sentence. Yesterday is an adjunct. At the park is also an adjunct. Another example. He is very tired. Very in this sentence is an adjunct. My father reads the newspaper every day. Every day is an adjunct. This workout routine is extremely exhausting. Extremely is an adjunct. Now, let's see the different types of sentence structure in English grammar. In English grammar, there are a number of sentence structures that you can use to make your speech or writing sound or look a lot more organized, interesting, and professional. Some of the commonly used sentence structures are as follows. Subject verb SV, subject verb object SVO, subject verb complement SVC, subject verb adjunct SVA, subject verb object complement SVOC, subject verb object adjunct SVOA, subject verb indirect object direct object SVIODO, adjunct subject verb complement ASVC, adjunct subject verb object ASVO, adjunct subject verb indirect object direct object ASVIODO, and finally adjunct subject verb adjunct ASVAA. So let's see some examples that will help you understand how each sentence structure works. Subject verb. The stars are shining. The stars, subject, are shining, verb. Another example. It is raining. It is the subject. Is raining is the verb. SVO, that is subject verb object. Children love ice cream. Children is the subject. Love is the verb. Ice cream is the object. Another example. I have a pencil. I is the subject. Have is the verb. A pencil is the object. Then we have SVC, which is subject verb complement. Carol is a nurse. Carol is the subject. Is the verb. A nurse is the complement. SVA, subject verb adjunct. David reached early. David is the subject. Reached is the verb. Early is the adjunct. SVOC, which is subject, verb, object, complement. My friend make me happy. My friend is the subject. Make is the verb. Me is the object. Happy is the complement. SVOA, which is subject, verb, object, adjunct. It is my birthday next month. It is the subject. Is the verb. My birthday is the object. Next month is the adjunct. We have SVIODO, which is subject, verb, indirect object, and direct object. The board offered me the job. The board is the subject. Offered is the verb. Me is the indirect object. Then the job is the direct object. We have ASVC, which is adjunct, subject, verb, complement. Suddenly it grew dark. Suddenly is the adjunct. It is the subject. Grew is the verb. Dark is the complement. ASVO, adjunct, subject, verb, object. Last week we celebrated Christmas. Last week, an adjunct. We, subject. Celebrated, verb. Christmas, object. ASVIODO, adjunct, subject, verb, indirect object, and direct object. Today, the teacher gave us our papers. Today, adjunct. The teacher, subject. Gave, verb. Us, indirect object. Our papers, direct object. SVAA, subject, verb, adjunct, adjunct. They go to work by bus. They, subject. Go, verb. To work, adjunct. By bus, adjunct. ASVAA, adjunct, subject, verb, adjunct. Last year, my friends and I went to Paris. Last year, adjunct. My friends and I, subject. Went, verb. To Paris, adjunct. Now you know what sentence structures is, the basic parts that makes it work, and the different types. If you found this lesson helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more simple English lessons every week. Thanks for watching, and see you in my next lesson. Bye for now.